It's mad how society's made it that so as soon as you turn to a specific age, you just start drinking. It's just a thing, innit?
Well, do you know what? It's not that. I think it's the pressure that everyone else around you is drinking also.
That's what I mean,
I feel like if we were brought up in a way where our friends or the people that we knew or like the people that we went to school with weren't drinking, there was no way we would have been drinking either.
So people are saying that KSI got robbed.
I saw a lot of that on Twitter.
That he should have won. To an extent, I agree. Not that he got robbed, but I agree that maybe the wrong decision was made. Hello and welcome back to the Bedtime Stories Podcast, episode 21.
With your hosts, Callum and Hannah. Thank you very much for joining us today on this fine Sunday.
It's raining outside. It's cozy.
It's feeling wintry now, isn't it?
It is feeling wintry, and I hate every second of it.
Oh gosh, I'm actually quite excited for the cold weather. I'm excited to get into like bed and like snuggle up and watch cool movies.
I thought I was until it's come.
Yeah.
So when it was summer, I was like, oh, you know, it'd be nice to sit indoors. It is for one day.
Yeah.
For one day, and then you just want it to fuck off.
I like it when it's like a 15-degree cold, not a 2-degree cold. Do you know what I mean? Like I like a bit of a breeze, but I can still like walk and not feel like, ugh.
I think if like the lowest temperature this country went to was 15, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
It would be perfect.
I'm in agreement, Callum. I'm in agreement.
Thank you. That's a very rare occasion that we agree, isn't it? I feel so tired. And I think the reason for that is because I've just eaten.
Oh, you know, all right, love.
When you've just eaten.
All right, well, we'll just end up the podcast here. So cheers for joining us, guys.
Excuse me. No, you don't get to do that.
So what have we got in store today, Callum? Do tell.
What have I got in store for everyone? Well, Halloween's around the corner.
Oh, spooky.
The worshipping of the devil day.
Okay.
3 days after my birthday, which is the 28th of October.
You are a Scorpio.
So everyone put that in your calendars. Make sure you send me gifts. Thank you very much. Halloween's on the way. We do need to do up the pod a little bit. But I want to ask you, what age is it still acceptable to go trick-or-treating, Hannah?
Okay. I think it's acceptable to go trick-or-treating at any age. I think, what?
So if I went trick-or-treating this year, you wouldn't get the ick.
If you went on your own, I would be a bit worried.
That'd be a bit noncy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, it's just more like, what are you doing a children's activity on your own? But like, that's like saying I can't go to the fun fair because it's for kids.
That's not at all.
But that's what I'm saying. So like, why can't I do a child's activity just because I'm an adult? I think it's fun if you do it with your friends and stuff, but obviously like the whole point isn't like, you don't really care about getting sweets and stuff anymore as you get older. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's just more like going out on Halloween having fun.
Yeah, I think when you get to like 18, that's when it stops becoming... No. Sorry. 18's way too
Probably
old.
like 15.
15, 16. When you get to about 15, 16, you want to stop going trick-or-treating with your mum and your parents, and you want to start going to parties and drinking with your mates.
Yeah. But you get that transition happens really quick. And all of a sudden, you're like, you go from literally trick-or-treating with your family and having a cute, wholesome day to just going to a Halloween party and getting fucked. And
isn't it mad?
Yeah.
It's mad how society's made it that so as soon as you turn to a specific age, you just start drinking. It's just a thing, innit?
Well, do you know what? It's not that. I think it's the pressure that everyone else around you is drinking also.
That's what I mean,
I feel like if we were brought up in a way where our friends or the people that we knew or like the people that we went to school with weren't drinking, there was no way we would have been drinking either. Yeah, because where would you get it? Who would you go out with and do it with? You'd be drinking on your own at home? No 15-year-old does that.
Yeah, well, some 15-year-olds might do that.
No, yeah, but I mean like the average 15-year-old that's in school is not going to grab a bottle and sit at home and drink. They're going to go out and meet their friends and do it. So if friends aren't doing it, it's the whole thing about peer pressure. It's the whole thing about doing things in social groups. It's like I wouldn't go shopping on my own just because if I had nothing to buy, I'd be like, oh guys, do you want to go shopping? Oh, make a day out of it, get coffee, this is that, and then it becomes a thing. Whereas until that point, it's like I'm not going on my own, am I? Yeah,
and I think drinking culture is such an unhealthy culture. Like for example, obviously I've stopped drinking, not completely. I drink on occasion, so like I very rarely drink anymore.
But in comparison to the amount that we used to,
in comparison to the amount I used to,
it's gone down quite a lot.
And the hardest thing about stopping drinking alcohol is the people around you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily judging you, but thinking you're boring. Like, because everyone else is drinking, they're looking at you and they're thinking, oh, he must think he's better than us because he's not drinking or something.
It's not that. It's that when people are drinking, everyone's like, oh, I'm having so much fun. Why aren't you having fun with me? And I sometimes can find myself, if I'm not drinking, I'm either life of the party, I'm still enjoying myself, I'm having loads of fun because I can be aware of what I'm doing, or I'm like, I'm so tired and I don't want to be here because everyone around me is so drunk.
Your social battery runs out so much quicker when you're not drunk.
Yeah.
For example, I stopped drinking like a few months ago now, properly. Went to an event and I was like, no, I'm not drinking today. And I stuck to my guns. I said, I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
it ended up getting to about 11 o'clock and the last train was coming. I was having a good time. There was people there. You know you don't want to leave a party early because your friends are there, people are having a good time. So obviously I wasn't drinking and everyone was dancing. Everyone was having these mad conversations. People were chewing each other's ears off. And I was just kind of standing there just like, I felt really out of place.
Yeah.
But how bad is that I felt out of place?
It is.
Like I have to have alcohol to fit into an environment. But that shouldn't be the case. But
it's because you're used to you know what they're feeling. So you know that they're on a fun level, so you know what that is. Whereas if you'd never drank before, you would have a routine, you would have a ritual, you'd be used to going out and not drinking at all. I think it's harder for you to go out in social situations and enjoy your time with your friends if you're not drinking. If you've never drank before, than if you started drinking recently. Do you know what I mean?
But how do you adapt? How do you, for example, when you have a drink, this new personality comes out, you get this new persona, you got the confidence, you got everything. You'll talk to anyone.
That's not the same. That's not necessary for a lot of people though.
No, but this is what I'm saying about myself.
Yeah.
So when I don't do that, I don't have that confidence. I don't have that edge. I won't talk to just anyone. I'm not as fun. But I'd love to adapt and make it so that when I do go out, I don't have to drink and I can still be on that level.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that comes over a course of time.
That's what I'm saying. I think you'll start to get used to that being your new normal. Your new normal is not drinking. So now you have to get used to being out there and, being fun in a fun, drunk way, just without the drink. You just have to get to that point. Like at the minute, you're all the way at A. You need to get to B now.
Yeah,
You need to get over to B.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not just me that stopped drinking. It's you. Like, how are you finding it?
I'm finding it all right, to be honest. The thing about me is I never sit there and think, oh, I really crave a drink tonight. If my friends are going out, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds really fun. I'll do it. But I'm never I'm not one of them people that I don't know, will have a bottle of wine with dinner anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I feel like I've gotten really used to just being like, right, I'm going to have a set time. I've got a friend's birthday in 2 weeks. That's when I have a little drink and that's that.
But it's more rewarding that way, isn't it? You go all this time without drinking, you feel amazing about yourself and then you have one blowout. But the next day you don't feel entirely like shit because you've been looking after your body. Yeah, it's just that one day it throws you off a little bit, but you're back to normal quicker than usual.
I feel like my anxiety has really gone down as well. I don't have any I don't wake up and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm just sort of like, oh, okay, good night.
Did you get bad anxiety?
No, not really. It's not to the point.
You never get hangovers.
Who, me?
Yeah. You never did.
I get gradual hangovers. I get those hangovers where it's like, I'm fine. I feel great. This is the best day ever. And then it hit like 2 p.m. I'm like, I want to die. I literally want to. That's what I get. I just get tired as the day goes on. I'm like, headache, crash. That's my day. Whereas you're like, I can't.
I have different stages of hangovers. If I'm drinking throughout the day before, I'll wake up the next day, I'll feel like shit, death, headache in the morning, throwing up, shitting through the eye of a needle, and then just can't eat anything. But I've got another stage where I'll start drinking late in the evening. I don't get too fucked, but I wake up the next day, I feel good.
Yeah.
I've got energy. And all of a sudden it gets to say midday, 2 p.m. and I'm just like, I can't eat anything. I'm fucked. My stomach ends up getting completely ruined. My skin gets bad.
Thing is about Callum, when something's going wrong, it's like everything is going wrong. It's like after a night after drinking, he's having a really bad hangover. He's like, oh, this is going wrong, and my skin's flaring up, and this is happening, and I can't do this, and it's like, and I'm never drinking again, and he makes it, and he spirals himself, and I think that's one of the reasons why you've had to stop drinking a lot, because it actually makes you spiral so badly. The next day you're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have drank. And I'm like, well, chill, like a very small problem. This is something that you need to learn to cope with, and I think a lot of people out there do as well. Very small problems that are even small to you, and you recognise they're small, and you find such a hard time getting over them.
I do. Yeah.
It's like say for example, his laptop doesn't turn on. The whole house is going to know about it.
Yeah. And I've found this about myself recently as well. Is I've tried to do the little things I wouldn't do before. For example, I was in the bathroom the other day and I just finished drying myself. And I just chucked the towel on the towel rack, and I looked at it. I was like, "Why am I doing that? That is so lazy." And when you start doing little things like that, they add up throughout the day. Yeah. And it makes you feel so much better about yourself. Yeah. Making your bed in the morning, it sets you up. Putting the towel on the side, putting your toothbrush back in the pot. It's the little things that sets you up for the day. You're like, oh, I've done that little thing earlier. I can do this big thing now.
Yeah.
Still struggling with washing up though.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm still struggling a little bit with the washing up. I'm not going to lie to you, mate.
But that is one thing that you need to remember, is that when a small problem is happening, it is not the end of the world. It's a task you need to overcome. It's going to be fine. deal with it and then move on, because you find it so difficult. It's like, say this light bulb wasn't turning on today. I like genuinely would be scared to talk to him for 10 minutes.
No. Okay, the first thing I would have done is, fuck, the light bulb's gone. I would have had to have gone to the shop that very minute.
Say it how you would say it, Callum.
Okay. Fuck, the fucking light bulb's gone.
Thank you.
I would have had to go to the shop.
Right.
I would have had to buy a new light bulb within 5-10 minutes. If I
Right.
didn't, then I would get a bit mad. I'd be like, oh no, it's not working. We can't have the lights on for
Right.
the podcast. It's not going to look the same.
Okay, and then say you couldn't get to the shop, then what would you do? Because then it's like, right, now I'm spiraling. Now he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue without a light bulb? Like, I can't live today. That's the mindset you have. Sometimes it's a good thing because it means you're a perfectionist. It means that what you're doing, you want to make sure you've done it to the T. You want to make sure everything's good and everything's in line with itself. And it is a good thing, because in terms of like even this setup, you guys, like Callum literally sets everything up. Like, it's amazing.
Thank you.
No, well done. But for the small things, you've got to just chill. Like, take it down a notch, mate.
Yeah,
like, it needs to go down a notch.
One thing I do need to work on, and I've noticed this recently as well, since I started going back to the gym, it must be raising my testosterone levels, because I'm getting a lot angrier.
Oh,
I
haven't noticed that.
I'm getting a lot angrier. I'll have like really angry thoughts, and I'm like, no, what am I like? Got to calm down, because I'm normally quite good at controlling my anger and just be like, okay, it's all right. We don't have to.
You didn't used to be though.
No, I used to be terrible at controlling my anger, but I can feel it now. Like my mind is just rageful when little things like that happen. I'm just like, oh my God, I could fucking do damage right now. And I'm like, what are you doing? You need to calm down.
Yeah.
The other day, right, I was in the Tesco's car park. Mum was just running into Tesco's and I was in the car, on my phone. And this old lady gets out of the car to the right of us. And I'm like, she better not hit this car. She goes, bang, opens her door. I felt the car move where she hit it so hard. I looked to my right and I stared at her in the eyes. She didn't even apologise. She just looked me in the eyes. Hannah, I felt like getting out of that car and smashing the shit out of her car. Smashing her windows. Oh, mate, I was furious.
Yeah.
I was furious. Yeah. So it's little things like that where I'm just like, she didn't mean it. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, oh God, I could have fucking...
But it's them little things. All she had to do was say sorry. She could.
That's what I
mean.
She
definitely acknowledged that she hit your car. That
of
she
course
hit
she did. She stared me in the eyes as soon as she done it.
That's it. It's like when I was on the train yesterday. And this is like a small thing about little acts of kindness. And I feel like people need to be more understanding of other people in society now. Because we're all so like, everyone's so moody and so depressed with things. And everyone's so like, it's always the world against you. I feel like that's the mindset a lot of people have now. It's always the world against me, right? And I'm at the station and I could see opposite. Like, we pulled up to a station and there was a guy running on the other side of the platform, and he's gone up to a worker and said, "Is that train going to so and so?" Like the train that I was on, and it was, but he had to have crossed the bridge, and the worker's literally gone and looked at him and gone, and I'm like, and this poor man is like sweaty. You can clearly see he's stressed out trying to get the train, and the worker was just like. I was like, you can't just shrug your shoulders and just expect that. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, I know it's your job, right? And he probably had a bad day. I can put my hands. He probably had a bad day, this worker. But come on, like, just inform the man that yes, it's over there. Like, there's two platforms. There's two platforms at the station. It's going one way or the other. Like, you know that's going that way.
That is
and it's
so
the way.
mad.
And then the poor guy's gone. And then he's like started running. He missed it.
He missed it.
He did miss it. Yeah.
Oh, poor fucker.
I watched him go over the bridge and he didn't make it, and he carried on going down. I was like, oh.
But that's the problem with society these days, is no one wants to work for someone else. Everyone wants to do their own job. And that's why I think soon all these companies will start bringing in AI. You'll have a machine you can go to say, what train platform do I have to be on to get the train? They've already got them. You got it on your phone.
Yeah.
So they'll have no need for them workers anymore. But when AI starts filling in for all these people who don't want to work because they want to make their own businesses, that's it. Everyone's going to be out of work. Everyone's going to be homeless with no money. AI is going to take over. And then what? Society's going to fucking fail.
Well, it's not just that. It's that everyone feels so. I feel like people nowadays, we feel so victim blamed. Everything's so like I'm. You know, you're sitting there thinking, oh, why is everything against me? Why is this happening to me? Why is the government doing this? Why not? Let's just be grateful, you know? But that's so difficult.
No, but you have to admit it's hard to be grateful these days when you're being robbed blind by the government.
Absolutely, by everything. Then that's it. And it's really difficult to sit there and be like, okay, how can I make a good situation out of something bad? Because, you know, it's not something that comes easily. You have to have a very, very powerful mindset to be able to overcome your day-to-day things and be okay. Like, you have to be very, very strong-minded for that.
Yeah, how do you get over those kind of situations?
So I've said this before, I feel like I gaslight myself into thinking it's
you did say
okay.
that.
So I would say, for example, I don't know, say I broke that, and then I broke my ankle, and then
Fuck me,
and
that's a
then
bad
and
day.
then I got scammed out of £500 or something, right? Say that happened, yeah.
You're a dickhead.
I shouldn't have said that.
Did you say that specifically because I got scammed out of £500? That was her fault, by the way.
No, that was the first thing that came to my head.
We're talking about that.
Anyway, so say I like broke this here, and then I lost my phone or something, right? Instead of sitting there and being like, I would be upset, obviously, for the first like hour or so. Like, it would be the worst thing in the world. I'd be like, oh my god,
Well, first of all, if you broke that, I wouldn't be with you anymore.
Well, this is it. I'd obviously get the fuck in
So,
my face.
Then you would have like the singleness to deal with.
But that's so getting over a breakup. But the way that I would overcome it is I sort of say to myself, okay, so this has happened. You can't change it now. There is absolutely nothing you do to change it. So how can you make it better? How can you I gaslight myself into thinking, I'll say to myself, it's fine, like you're fine. Like don't worry, like it's gonna be fine. And then I make myself believe it.
Yes, but do you not find then you're pushing your problems to the back?
Well, no.
And you're not dealing with
Well, no,
them?
because I've told myself that it's going to be fine and you're okay, I can then fix it. Whereas when you're stressed out about a problem, so say, for example, like I said, I broke that, right? And you needed to go and get it fixed. Because you were so stressed and so anxious about the fact that I'd broken something of yours, and you couldn't get over that stress yet, it would take you a week to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's certain things, there's levels of like, okay, so how can I do this? And how, because you procrastinate. You're procrastinating about the fact that something so sad has happened to you that you don't want to even leave the house now. You're so angry and upset that you can't go and do it. Whereas I'll tell myself, right, you're fine, you're good, okay, and then I'll go get my phone fixed as soon as possible.
It's
you know
a
what I
good
mean?
point, to be fair, because they say stress is problems. Like if you solve your problems, you have less stress. I think Jeff Bezos actually said that.
Oh wow, that's really quiet actually.
Yeah.
We're getting really deep in this podcast today, guys. I feel
Yeah,
like
you know what I mean, mate. We're actually providing some wisdom for you guys.
I mean, as much wisdom as we can provide.
Yeah, I know. I've actually figured out recently that I want to start reading a bit more, but they need to make reading more fucking fun, man.
Callum.
Put pictures in there, bro. I'd rather. Oh God, they need to make more educational videos. Things like, I don't know, explaining just little things. Like I'll be say, for example, I'll listen to the Diary of a CEO podcast, right? Stephen Bartlett, and he has all these extremely smart guests on. Their vocabulary is just out of this world, and I'm listening to a sentence they put together, and I'm saying, "How have you just said that?" I want to be able to speak like that. I need to work on my speech and delivery.
Yeah, it's just about articulating yourself. As long as you've got the connecting words, you'll be able to say it. Say for example, instead of saying say for example, nonetheless on the other hand, like it's just changing the words that you use that mean the exact same thing. Because even when we're listening to the podcast, you'll pause it. What does that mean? Like it means something so simple, but it's just the words that they've used to put it together makes it sound more educational and more. And the vocabulary is obviously out there. But I've really found something that's helped me, because obviously even when I was in university, there was sometimes I was reading books, I was like, what the hell is this? Russell Brand has made my vocabulary go.
Really?
Because he makes you understand like quintessential and like small words like that you wouldn't even think about using in your day-to-day life, and then he'll say it and you're like, okay, all right.
What does that mean?
Or like the small things you don't realise.
Oh my God.
Like quintessential. It's like it's something that's like it's always there, but you don't realise it's essential.
No, that's mad. I might start doing crosswords then.
Crosswords is a good way.
Crosswords will
What's the other thing? Not Sudoku.
Sudoku, babe.
Sudoku.
There's no way you just said Sudoku.
Sudoku. That's what my mum says.
Your mum's Spanish.
Are you violating my mum right now?
No, I'm just saying.
Mum, Callum's violating you, okay? He's
Sudoku.
He's taking the piss out of your accent. Sudoku. What's another word that you say that's really weird? No, that I say that's really weird and you always get annoyed. Oh, calippo. No, calipo, I say.
Yeah, she says calipo. She also says sandwich.
Sandwich.
She doesn't say sandwich. Sandwich.
Your brother actually always takes piss out of me saying corner shop.
Oh yeah, you say corner shop.
Corner shop.
I'm going to the corner shop.
But so does Cat.
Go to the corner shop.
Cat says that as well.
I don't think that's as bad, but anyway.
But you know what? Considering I have got two parents that English is not their first language, okay? I think my vocabulary has turned out very well. I know people say I mumble. I do speak very fast. Sometimes I skim across words because I'm like, I know what word I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I'll just go past the word and just go to the next word.
Yeah.
But I think considering that my parents both don't speak English as their first language, I've done pretty well.
Yeah, you did. I also think because you obviously grew up speaking Spanish, and you learn English, you learn Spanish, you know two languages. I think that's why you're so good at taking in information and remembering it.
I just like suck it
I'm
in.
awful at that.
Yeah.
So I think that part of your brain, is that the right side or the left side?
There's something. It's something. Yeah.
Something. Your cerebral cortex or something like
Your
that.
hippocampus.
It's probably not. I don't know.
I think it might be hippocampus actually.
But I think that's why you're so good at taking in information.
That's actually a very, very good point. Well, this is also that you can be left-brained or right-brained.
Yeah.
So depending on what side of your brain you
I'm
use.
middle brain.
You're Callum's no brain. But it's like you either use I think it's your creative side or your functional side. So it's like your logical or your impulsive. There's two. I learned about as a psychologist. There's two sides.
So one
of the
side's
brain.
logical, one side's impulsive.
Not that. It's that one side of you is more creative and more like it depends. And you can actually do a test to see what side of your brain you use more. And I think in men, are more left brain. I don't know which one it is, but there's statistics to prove it and everything. It's really, really interesting actually.
Yeah,
really
might
interesting.
study that. Not gonna lie.
Do you want to hear a funny story about when I used to speak Spanish as a kid though?
Go on.
I'll sound more interested. Go on. All right, if you want.
You just do it.
No. So when we moved to the UK, I was 5. I was born here, and then we moved to Spain, and then we moved back to the UK because we couldn't get enough of it. And
They got deported.
Oh, for God's sake. And we didn't, but for the record, we didn't. Spain is in Europe, so we didn't get deported. And I obviously couldn't speak a word of English. Like I literally could not speak a word. So in the estate that we lived in at the time, I'm like 5 years old, and I would go and knock on the people's doors, like that had kids that were my age, and be like, "Hola, can they come out and play?" Like in Spanish.
Like Dora the Explorer.
No, literally. And I couldn't. My mum said like literally couldn't say, like we didn't understand each other. I did not understand them, and I would be banging on the door trying to play with them, like, "Hola."
Oh my God.
Just
if you knocked on my door, it's like, "Hola, you want to come out to play?"
¿Quieres jugar?
I'm like, who the fuck is this Dora the Explorer chick at my door?
Why do you keep calling me Dora the Explorer?
It makes me... No, Hannah, you have to show that photo of you with the bob. Should we put the picture up of you
I
with
think
the
you
bob?
put it in the last podcast, Callum.
No. The one you took on the AI.
Oh,
the
that
AI
one.
one. So I'm going to put that picture up. Hannah looks like Dora the Explorer.
We
with a
AI'd
bob.
my hair because and apparently I like Dora the Explorer, right? I think that's a little bit racist, I'm not going to lie, Callum.
How is that racist, Hannah? Oh, here we go. You're so woke. Bruv, what? Oh, I'm not allowed to say woke now. She always does this. As soon as I say something that's a minuscule amount controversial, she makes me try and cut it out.
I have to educate him, guys. It's fine.
Because I called her Dora the Explorer. Imagine having a girlfriend like that.
Well, tell them why we were on the app anyway with my Dora Explorer, the Explorer hair.
Right, so we obviously made Hannah look like Dora the Explorer. The reason I'm wearing a hat and have been now for the past couple of podcasts is because I'm growing my hair out.
Oh my God, top secret information. Whoa.
I'm growing it
Callum
out.
Joyce is growing his hair out.
I'm growing it out. And I've been wanting to do it for years, but I've just been like, no, I can't be arsed. And it gets to a stage where I look like a microphone, it looks fucked. So I'm like, I can't do this. I'm just going to have to cut it. But this time, I'm going to see it through. I'm staying at home. I'm not going out. I'm just going to keep stacking my money. So I said, fuck it. No better time to try and grow my hair. I mean, lockdown would have been a better time.
I mean, you shaved it. You buzz cutted it in lockdown.
I did. So we use this AI app to give me long hair. It's kind of shit. But this is roughly what I would look like with long hair.
He spent... Like, I'm falling asleep. My eyes are closed. Like, I'm ready to go to bed. Babe, what do you think of this? Babe, what about this hair? And I'm like, oh my God, please. It's like an hour last night of him just AIing his hair. And it does look really, really cool. I think he'll look great with it. Because I don't know if anyone's picked up on this. I think Callum looks so much like Mark Wahlberg as he was younger. Like Mark Wahlberg was younger. Oh my God. There's a movie called Fear with Reese Witherspoon and Mark Wahlberg. And I swear to God, it's like watching you.
Should we get it
in
up
the
on
90s.
screen for people to see?
It
Let's
is
see.
the weirdest
Let's get it up on screen.
thing ever. To be fair, like Callum right now, obviously with the hat and stuff, you won't be able to tell. But if you've seen Callum's videos and stuff, like, are you joking me?
I mean...
No. Now we need to insert a picture of you with your long hair.
Let me take the hat off. Okay. My hair's so fucked right now.
He's just got the exact same features as you. Like the nose is the same. He's got the same.
Do you know what? It's weird because I see it, but only when I've got the long hair.
Yeah, when Callum used to have like his hair used to be just like that. Like you never used to. You didn't really get a fade that high.
I mean,
no, that one there.
What, this one?
Yeah, and that one up there, the one next to the one where he's got his shirt off.
What?
This one. That looks so much like your angry face. Yeah. It looks just like that.
Maybe I'll just grow my hair out.
That looks like
I do want to get into acting, so any Hollywood guys, if you're watching this, might be a young Mark Wahlberg on the rise, you know what I mean?
Callum could play him in a movie. But isn't it mad that like there's people out there that look just like you? I would absolutely, because I know they say that thing where you have 9 doppelgangers in the world.
9.
There's a high probability that you have 9 people in the world that look just like you, that have the pretty much the exact same facial features. I would love to meet someone that looks like me. I'd love to see what they do to their face, how they style themselves, how they do their hair. Like, oh, I need inspiration.
Do you think you would look at them? So, if you walked past someone in the street that was your doppelganger, do you think you would walk past them and be like, fuck, they look like me? Or do you think someone else would have to point it out for you?
No, I think if they were your doppelganger, you would know.
Really?
You would know. You'd be like, wow, that person looks a bit like me.
And then have you ever had that with anybody?
No.
You've not?
Mm-mm.
No,
I've
I
seen
haven't.
a picture of my sister when she was younger and been like, wow, that looks just like me. But
the only
it's my
time I've
sister.
ever felt like that is when you showed me that one picture of Mark Wahlberg.
Mental.
And I compared it to a picture I had with long hair.
Mental.
Yeah, so acting career, I might have to jump in that, you know what I mean? Wasn't he a Calvin Klein model as well?
I think he was Callum actually, yeah.
What?
You got the chiseled features for it, love.
No, I haven't. I've got no jawline
Yes, you
at
do.
all, mate.
Yes, you do.
But that's the thing, Mark Wahlberg has never really had a beard neither.
No, he hasn't.
He did in Daddy's Home, he had a little beard.
For God's sake, you in this film.
Yeah, because that's how I want my hair. I want it like that.
He was typing into the AI on this app, going, Mark Wahlberg hair in Daddy's Home.
It worked, didn't it? It worked.
If the shoe fits.
Anyway, moving away from my my doppelganger, Mark Wahlberg. I want to talk about the fight over the weekend. You probably didn't see it, did you?
I didn't watch it, no, but I saw clips of it and stuff.
You've seen clips of it. So people are saying that KSI got robbed.
I saw a lot of that on Twitter.
That he should have won. To an extent, I agree. Not that he got robbed, but I agree that maybe the wrong decision was made. Because in my eyes, KSI was the better... Not better boxer, I'm not going to say that. Because they was hugging each other, right? It was a literal...
Oh, was it one of those again?
It was literally... They were hugging the whole fight.
I find those so boring.
People are saying KSI was hugging Tommy the whole fight. People were saying Tommy was hugging KSI the whole fight. I've seen clips supporting both of those statements. But I will admit, I saw KSI land more punches. I saw him land more punches. I also know that Tommy Fury got deducted a point for punching KSI in the back of the head. So... it's kind of like, I think it should have been a draw at most.
The one thing I will say though is KSI to be fighting in a ring with a professional boxer. I mean, I know KSI's been doing it for quite a few years, but Tommy Fury's been training for this for like
his whole life.
His whole life. And to stand his own ground is an achievement in itself.
To
do that well and to not get knocked out and to stay the whole... Well, they did 12 rounds, right? Amazing.
No, they didn't. They done 6.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, it's influencer boxing, isn't it? Like, they don't do 12 because of the damage.
Tommy Fury's not an influencer.
I know.
Isn't he?
No, I would class him more as an influencer than a boxer.
Okay, David Beckham. Would you have classed David Beckham as more of an influencer or more of a footballer? Because he was the face of...
You can't compare Tommy Fury to David Beckham.
But he was the face of hundreds of brands, and he is now.
Who, David Beckham?
Would you still call him now? And would you call him now a boxer, a footballer?
No, he's not a footballer now.
Yeah,
he's more a model personality now. He's a household name now. Whereas Tommy Fury, if he didn't go into Love Island, I don't think many people would know who he is.
I think he would still be doing very well boxing wise. I do.
I think he'd be doing better boxing wise because that would be all he has. But he's got everything else now. He's got Molly May, who's earning loads of money. Tommy Fury's now doing brand deals outside of boxing. He's got a baby. Yeah. So no, fair play to KSI for like getting that far and doing that well. A bit embarrassing that he said he was going to knock his head off, but you know.
It's all trash talk though, isn't it, with boxers?
Yeah. And then you've got the Logan Paul Dylan Dennis fight.
He got knocked out, didn't he?
Nah.
Dylan Dennis got knocked out?
No, he didn't. Logan Paul won. Dylan Dennis got disqualified.
Oh.
Because Dylan Dennis is an MMA fighter and he tried to get Logan Paul in a headlock, in like a guillotine. And then he also tried to kick him whilst he's on the floor. But at the end of the fight, Dylan Dennis was throwing punches at Logan Paul's security.
Right, that's what I saw. That's what I saw, okay.
People are saying he threw more punches at the security than Logan Paul.
This is why I don't bother with the boxing. I enjoy it when I'm watching it, but like I wouldn't sit there and think, I'm going to pay money for this. I wouldn't. That's something I wouldn't pay. Here's a good question. What is something that you pay money for, but you wish you didn't?
What's something I paid money for?
No, that you pay for, but you wish you didn't. So as in like, obviously... You pay for a house or you pay for your rent, but you don't not wish that you pay for that because obviously it's where you live. But what...
Gas and electric.
You wish you didn't pay for that?
Well, I think it's a scam.
What, you don't think you should have gas and you don't think you should have electric?
I think it's a scam. I mean, I understand we have to pay a certain amount because there's people that are providing it. There's people that are working in the electricity stations. There's people that have to maintain it. But I don't think that we should have to pay for the product itself, for the electricity and for the gas and the water itself, because it's so vast. There's so much of it.
Listen, the biggest modern age scam of our day is the industrialization of water. How the hell they have managed to capitalize on supplying water and we pay for it, like as if water is not free flowing, running from wherever. It is. It's mental to think about it. It's a massive corporation now. It's a and all they've done is put pipes in places and factoried up water.
They literally might as well bottle up air and sell that.
And then and on top of that, they bottle it in plastic that isn't even recyclable,
and that's
and
why
then sell it to you.
That's why we're full of microplastics. It's fucked, isn't it?
It is. It's such a that's one of the things nowadays that really bugs me. It's like they make you pay for water.
Hannah, you have to pay for everything.
Look
at the plastic bag situation.
Callum, you'll never get over this.
I've mentioned this in so many of these episodes, but I'm going to say it again, man. They started charging us 5p for plastic bags, right? 5p. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's damaging the environment. All of a sudden, they changed the bags to paper. The paper bags, they're not damaging the environment. They're recyclable. You can do what you want with them. They biodegrade as well. Now they're charging you 60p for a fucking paper bag, mate. I don't understand the concept. It's a scam. It is a scam.
It is.
We are being. But the thing is, when are we going to fucking stand up and say something?
I think it's coming. I do.
I think it's coming.
There's a new age now where we're sort of like our generation, and I've noticed this a lot. Our generation, the generation below us, we're not workers in a capitalism society anymore. We're not workers that want to listen to be treated like shit by a company and stay there for 5+ years.
I understand what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like nowadays, us as a generation, we know our worth. You see how many people say, well, if they're treating you like that, you got to leave. I'll just quit. I'll just quit. Like no one cares about that anymore.
But how can you see the world working without capitalism?
It won't.
That's what I'm saying.
The world that we know.
The world that we know.
The world that we know.
But who's to say that it would be a better world if we went... What's the other one? Communism. You've got capitalism, communism.
Communism.
That's it. Capitalism and communism.
Kind of. There's a lot more behind it.
There's a lot more behind it. So, for example, if everyone had equal pay, if there was no hierarchy, everyone was on equal pay doing the same thing, how would it work? I can't fathom it.
Have you ever watched the movie The Giver?
It's like a porno.
It's based on a really good book, actually.
Yeah.
And it's based in like a dystopian universe, dystopian world of Earth. And essentially what it is everyone from birth, they are all brought up in the same way. Everyone, like absolutely everyone's brought up in the same way. And then when they turn 18 or whatever age it is, they then, to society, chooses what they're going to be. So you are either a nurse, you're a intellect, you're a this, you're a that, and then you have your job and you go out, and everyone does the same thing their whole life. And then there's one like president.
It's like Divergent.
Similar, they're kind of similar, but The Giver's much more interesting in the way it does it, because it's, for example, they don't know no history. None of them know any history of the world, so they kind of started the world anew. In communism, right? And it's so interesting because what it does is that it then makes everyone equal, and it worked. The movie's good. The movie does work. Obviously, there's a few things that make it not work in the end. If you want to watch it, it's a very, very good film. The book's brilliant as well, but it then makes you realise that it could work like that. It's just that we wouldn't have the things that we have in our day to day. Where's the ambition?
Exactly.
Where's your passion?
The drive.
You wouldn't have that thing of like, I need to save my money. I need to do this because everyone's on the same level as you. You know, there wouldn't be that thing of, I'm going to treat myself and go on holiday, you know, and have fun with the elites.
Sorry.
It's all right. You wouldn't have that thing of like, oh, I'm going to go treat myself on holiday and, you know, have fun with people that I'm not used to seeing, because everyone would be doing a very similar thing. So you wouldn't have the same drive and you wouldn't have the same passion for things because society's told you what you're going to do in your life anyway. You know?
That's what I mean. And the thing is, if it went to that, and everyone these days is so passionate, everyone these days wants their own business, everyone these days wants to be individual in what they're doing. Now imagine everyone was like that. It wouldn't work. Couldn't work. It's not and naturally, us as humans, we live in a hierarchy. It's like lions in the jungle. There's a king. There's a king lion. There is a boss, and they all obey this boss. They all do their thing. What? It's true.
Callum comparing this conversation to the plot of The Lion King.
I'm to the plot of nature, Hannah, not the Lion King. There's a hierarchy in every civilization. For example, bees. You've got a queen bee.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I think it's in our nature. There's a reason it's a capitalist world, and it's because it's the only one that they've probably found that works.
But then, I mean, one could argue, and this is one thing I learned about in when I was doing religious studies as well. One could argue that isn't capitalism deeply rooted into religion, because you're always, no matter what, looking up at one person. There's something bigger than you. Like, you are never the big thing.
You're obeying orders from something else bigger.
It is always something telling you what to do, telling you how to live. So you could argue that without capitalism, people would still be religious, though, wouldn't they? They would still, although we're all equal as humans, they would still believe, right, well, there's something else up there. There's something more to me. There's something that I'm not big enough to be the big thing. There's something else that's bigger. So, you know?
But would you call that capitalism?
No, but you could say it's religious capitalism.
Right, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Religion's a bit of a sticky one that we're not going to go into.
We've gone into that quite a bit before.
We have, yeah.
I've educated you a lot on it, though, I feel like.
You have, but I'm still not educated enough to go into religion. It's like the war's going on at the moment with Israel and Palestine. I'm not educated enough to give my word on it. It's horrible, shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
I am nowhere near educated enough
to
comment on it and give anyone I'm nowhere near educated enough to give any comments on that. So that's why I haven't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, what's some questions, right? Say the smartest person in the world is in front of you. Say somebody so intellectually, just there, and they are so present and they understand what you mean when you're saying words.
Jordan Peterson.
Okay, say him for example. What is the one question you'd ask him? What is something that you would say, right, you need to tell me the answer to this. You need to help me understand something.
Good question. However, I don't think someone can tell you the answers to things. I think you have to find them yourself.
Ooh.
It's true, though. It's true. I think you have to find... Hannah, the amount of times in my life I've been looking for the answer, I can't find it, but then something happens in my life and I'm like, shit, that's it. Like learning stuff. Before I started the podcast, it's like, oh, I'll never be able to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And then I started the podcast, and as time's gone on, I've learned, and I'm like, shit, what I've once thought was impossible, what I needed the answers to,
it's happened.
It's happened. I've answered it myself. And you just have to take action. You have to look for the answers, and you have to experience stuff. But no, what you said's a good question. And I'm going to change my person to Gary V. Because Gary V's the whole reason I'm in the situation I am today. Yeah. I watched one video of him saying, it's not too late to get on TikTok. It will change your life. Get on TikTok. Did it, and it changed my life. So, like Gary V. If I was with him, I'd probably say to him, I feel so lost, and I feel like everything's going so fast. I don't really know what I want in life yet. Because I would just want him to tell me to slow down. I want to hear it from him. Yeah. That you're young. Yeah. You don't have to, you have all the time in the world. Why are you so, because everyone now is so rushed. Everyone wants to be doing their dream thing at 23, 24. Yeah. It's not going to happen, man. Do you know how little knowledge we have, Hannah? Do you know how little knowledge we have?
Yeah.
Like, we listen to people, the likes of Jordan Peterson and all that, David Goggins, who have been through this shit and have every right to say the things they say. I've not experienced nowhere near enough in life to be preaching to people what they should be doing.
Yeah. I look back on when I was like 18 or so and I was going to university, and I think I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'm doing a university degree, and I knew nothing about what I was like. I mean, I knew things, but I didn't know as much as I know now. Yeah. So it's like, what am I going to know in 3 more years?
Exactly.
What am I going to know in 5 more years?
Exactly.
You know? How much more intelligent am I going to be in 10 years? Like, it's just so cool to think about. But what I said about one question that you would ask somebody, I was saying it in terms of like something that you want to understand more about. What's a topic that you want to understand more about? What's something that, like, if you had to give an opportunity of somebody in front of you that was very, very educated, what would you want to know?
Oh, God, that's such a good question.
That's what I kind of meant earlier.
Okay, sorry, I went way off context with that one then, didn't I? Jesus. Oh, God. I would like to know. I would like to speak to someone who's at the top, at the very top of everything, and just be like, how does it work? Why does this work like this? Is it just greed? Does society work like this for a reason? Because it wouldn't work otherwise? Or is it just pure greed, the reason everyone's struggling right now? I would like to go to the top of the food chain and ask the person, what the fuck are you doing? What's going on? Yeah. I'd like to understand it.
What the fuck are you doing?
I would like to understand it, but that's never going to happen. What about you?
That's really interesting. I would need somebody in front of me that had explored, somebody that knew the ocean to a point where they've explored a lot of it and they haven't been able to disclose it to the public, I need to know what's in the sea. I need to know what's down there.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
It actually, that's my Roman Empire. I think about that like at least once every other day.
Really?
Yeah, I think about it all the
What's
time.
in the ocean?
We've discovered 5% of it. Are you mad? There is it's just think.
You reckon this whole civilization?
Just think about it. If say the whole world, everything that we know, all the countries in the whole world, 100 however many countries there are, or like I don't know how many countries there are. Imagine that was only 5% of the countries on Earth. Do you know what I mean? Like, think about that for a second. Put it into a big scale.
That's fucked.
Right? How have we only 5% of the ocean? It bothers me. It bothers me all the time.
Do you think it's the truth though, or do you think they're lying because they've discovered more than they don't want us to know?
Oh, they've definitely discovered more. We know about 5%. I mean, same with space. I doubt they've only discovered a couple of planets. There's a lot more out there that we don't know about.
100%.
But that's what I'm saying is that like I need. There's things that I want to know more. I just want to keep knowing more. About what's going on in the world. I want to know what's going on out there. I want legit things. And I also, this is one thing I want to say about as well, I want to stop hearing lies. I know this sounds obviously like nobody wants to be...
That's never going to happen.
No one wants to be lied to. It's so obvious. Like, as if I wanted you to sit there and lie to me, yeah? Sometimes lying's good in terms of like making me feel better. I'm hitting the light behind me. I'm just getting really into it. But I want to stop hearing lies from media. I want to stop hearing lies from social media. I want to stop hearing like, do you know what I mean?
So if everyone just told the truth,
no, as
do you think the world would be a better place?
No, as in I not that, because lies are needed sometimes. But I want to stop seeing these little say for example, because I'm so sick of this. There's a post, okay, and it's you shirtless.
Yeah.
And whoever's reposted it, let's say TMZ, have tagged it and gone, Callum Joyce rocks shirtless, amazing topless pic, beautiful, right? And there's a picture of me shirtless. Bam. TMZ. Awful picture of Callum Joyce's girlfriend. That's what I want to stop seeing. It's the perversion of media where they've picked something up, twisted it, thrown it out there, and people have taken that and understood it. People need to stop reading things and thinking it is the truth and the Bible and it is like, it is 100% real. Do you know? Does that make sense? Have I babbled on a little bit?
No, it does make sense, of course. I think like the media these days is fucked and they tell nothing but lies.
Well, this is it.
They push agendas that no one agrees with, and we can see it in the numbers. No one's watching BBC News anymore. No one's watching ITV News.
But it's not just that. It's, say for example, a TikTok video, and it's, I don't know. Okay, let me say someone's dancing. Yeah. I like it. I don't think anything of it. I go to scroll past. I go back up. Let me go to the comments. Top comment, there's something rude about them. You go, oh yeah, that's quite funny.
Yeah.
Right? But if that comment hadn't have been there, I never would have thought that about that person.
Right. I'm so glad you said this.
Do you know
I've been
what I
wanting
mean?
to say this for a long time.
That's what I mean.
So if I see a video of someone singing, right, and I'm like, oh, they're really good.
Yeah.
But I go into the comments and I see 5 comments of people saying, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
Instantly in my brain, I'm like,
it's rubbish.
oh, maybe they're not as good as I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe they are rubbish.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
That is all it takes for someone to change your mind.
Yeah. That's what I'm sick of
It's
seeing.
fucking ridiculous.
I'm so sick of seeing this trolling. I'm so like it's like it's the worst thing that people can do, because people also that comment these things don't realize they're doing it, because they're just like, oh, funny comment, let me just comment that.
And
it's
I think subconsciously what happens is your brain wants to fit in society. It's just a subconscious that you're thinking, oh, if everyone else is saying it, I obviously need to be on this trend.
It's like,
we need to stop doing that.
It's like, not to go back about Taylor Swift, yeah? People hate her. People can't give me one reason why they hate her.
Yeah.
They purely hate her because so-and-so said it. They see posts about it every day. They see tweets about it and they think, oh yeah, God, she's really annoying, isn't she? Yeah, she's really annoying. Yeah. It's like, say for example, I love Harry Styles as a person. I'm not a fan of his music, right? But if the media have been telling me that he's a bad person, he's done this and he's done that, and you know, and I've been seeing posts about it and I've been seeing tweets, and Kendall Jenner said that she didn't like him, or this person said they didn't like him, I'm then like, oh, I really don't like Harry Styles. Oh, and on top of that, don't like his music either. So then someone asks me, why don't you like him? I don't like his music. But no, you've internalized that thought that they're a bad person. So then you're thinking automatically, like, it's as soon as someone puts a bad name or someone puts a label to you, or to anything, you know, if someone puts a bad name to these electric heaters,
we get rid of it,
right? There's one news article, there's one media outlet, one news post has pushed that agenda out that these are bad for you. Automatically they're gone.
Yeah, it's like the Russell Brand situation.
Absolutely.
Like, for example, obviously innocent until proven guilty. Don't know what's happened to that anymore. That's not a thing anymore. Everyone's guilty until proven innocent.
It's because everyone gets cancelled and trolled on social media.
The media's literally put it all over the place. They plastered it everywhere. Russell Brand's a nonce. He's a paedophile. He slept with underage girls. Like, okay, where's the proof? First of all,
where's the proof in the pudding?
And now they've said that everyone that watches BBC News or ITV that is not aware of what's going on believes it. And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's fucking so frustrating. Even my mum would be like, oh, I think this one's true.
Yeah,
like, Mum,
no.
you don't understand what's going on. No one understands what the agendas that the media are pushing. Obviously, allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly, because otherwise,
allegedly,
I'll get cancelled before I've even gone to the top.
No, that's literally, if there's one thing that you guys can take away from this podcast, it's that don't believe everything that you see. Don't read things and believe it's the truth and automatically start going, oh my God, I've heard about this person. Blah, blah, blah. Take a step back, understand what he's saying, understand who's pushing out this agenda. Look at what is the root behind the cause. We need to know about these things more in depth.
Do your research. Do your research.
Yeah.
Before you take anyone's words for, what's the saying? Before you take anyone's words for
truth.
Yeah. Words for truth.
Don't condemn somebody or don't condemn something because you've seen one thing about it.
Yeah.
Learn more about it and then make an educated decision. It's like, say for example, like people who have never been religious their whole life, they are automatically like, oh no, I could never go to church every Sunday. I could never do that. Don't condemn it until you know about it. For example, I am no longer Christian. I don't believe in a God per se, and I'm agnostic. But that's because I've educated myself on it, and I know, I haven't just gone, oh fuck that, I can't be asked to believe in all that. It's because I know what I want to believe in now.
Yeah.
So don't condemn something or don't stop something from happening, something going on, just because you've seen one little thing about it. You thought, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say about that. That's my opinion on that. Don't have a strong opinion on something that you don't know enough about. That's what I'm going to say.
That's the problem with society. We're so easy to control.
Yeah.
Because that's all the media has to do is that, and we believe it. So that is true. Yeah, do your research.
Wow, what a deep one.
Yeah, a little bit of a deep one, wasn't it?
We had some quite in-depth discussions there, Callum, didn't we? But before we end off, and this is something that I actually wanted to ask right at the beginning, but we just got way too into it.
Yeah.
What is one life lesson that you've learned over the years? I mean, we're not that old, so, something that we've learned in recent time, as 23-year-olds that you live by. There's something that is so deeply rooted in you now that you can't stop thinking about in that way.
Good question again, Hannah. You're on fire today.
Oh, pew, 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 pew.
You're on fire today. Oh God, I'm a really big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I think I have said it before. I kind of live by that. It gets me by because if something bad happens, then I look deeper into it, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to look at why has this happened, and what am I going to gain out of this?
Yeah.
For every failure, there's a fucking great success. I love failing. I love failing.
I love it.
Don't get me wrong. For the first few minutes or hours, I'll be like, "Fuck!"
I'm pissed.
But then the thing I've learnt from that, amazing. You can't beat that feeling. You can't beat it. And I'd say to anyone, just try and fail as much as you can at something because you will learn so much.
Wow.
So yeah, I think everything happens for a reason is what I live by. It's what gets me by.
Wow.
Yeah. What's yours?
I say this quite a lot, and I think you'll know that I say this. It's always like, stop thinking about the what ifs. That is something that I'm like, just stop doing it. What if I'd have gone that day, or what if I'd have done this, and what if but you didn't.
Yeah.
But you didn't. That's it.
Kind of ties into everything happens for a reason.
Essentially, yeah. So, but it's like you'll say, oh, what if I'd gone gym in the morning though? It was like, oh, what if I bought that the other week? It had been on sale.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I just got the camera set? Oh, what And it's like, stop thinking about the what ifs. You can't do anything to change it. It's done now. Like this is the route you've gone down, and that's that.
That can be quite detrimental as well, can't it? Thinking about what if.
You can spiral thinking about that.
Yeah, of course
if you sit there at night, if you're the kind of person because I used to be quite a bad overthinker. I still am, but I think now that I've kind of learned to gaslight myself, as I said, I don't think so much about like, oh God, what if I'd have said that, and what if I'd done that? Because you sit there at night and you think, oh God, I should have said that. Oh, I should have done it this way.
Yeah.
I should have moved that there. Or I should have, And if you think that way, you over time you start to realize that you're never living in what you're doing. You always think about what could I have done, and that's a good thing in terms of business model. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a planner, and you want to know what could I have done better, but there's a difference between what I could and what if. Because what I could is I'm gonna change now. What if is nothing's gonna change. You can't do anything to change the what if. you have to carry on as you are now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
there's a past and there's a future, and the what I could do is the future, and what if I done is the past. So stop thinking about that and start thinking about the other one.
Learning from your mistakes.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
And that's what I live by.
I like
Don't
it.
think about the what ifs.
Okay. I like that. That's
You're
a good
really
one. That was a
chuffed
good
with
one.
that, ain't you?
Do you know what? Nah, that was a good podcast as
Callum
well.
really wanted to go for a deep one today, and I'm always happy to do a
Yeah,
deep.
because do you know what I've realised? I've realised a lot of podcasts I'm seeing have no meaning to them.
No, it's not that.
Now,
it's that you want to hear podcasts that are telling you about life strategies and
I fucking love it when I'm listening to a podcast.
I like a fun podcast.
And they explain something, and I've been through that or I've experienced that.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that for the people that are watching this or listening to this, that they can listen to what we're talking about and they can relate to our situations.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through the same stuff, but I want to start putting a bit more of that into the podcast instead of it being like, okay, yeah, it's cool, it's all good, you can have fun, we can have a fun podcast, we can get good clips, but sometimes it's good to just sit down, have a talk, get things off your chest. And
see, I just love having meaningful chats like this. I can have deep conversations with people like no matter what, and I think it's good I like hearing it from you most and foremost, because you'll say stuff but you won't go into depth with it, so I feel like you need this. I think you need this to expand a bit as well.
Yeah, I do need it sometimes. Maybe next time we'll have a couple drinks.
Oh God. Just after we spoke about not drinking.
Sometimes I've had some mad chats.
But what I will say is I think I'll get some interesting facts for you each podcast and expand a little bit on what you've learned.
Yes, let's use it as a learning platform.
Yeah, let's utilize it as an educational platform.
Yes, we shall.
Yes, we shall.
Okay, amazing. What a podcast.
Well, if you didn't really understand what we just spoke about, you've heard us rambling on 50 minutes. I do apologise.
Yeah, literally. I do apologise.
People were expecting us to say funny stories about when we were kids, and we're like, right, so society, capitalism. Right,
yeah,
let's talk
literally.
about that.
I think it needs to be said though. I think everyone needs to understand and hear
thing is,
the realism.
We've scraped the surface, Callum. There is a lot more theory and stuff we can go into.
Another good. This is how I'm going to finish it. We're so used to using podcasts and things to escape reality. I think sometimes it's good to do a podcast like this because you're teaching people about how the world's working. You're not helping them escape from reality. You're keeping them in it and you're educating them on it.
Wow.
Like escaping reality is something you shouldn't be doing. It's what people do drugs for, to escape reality. No, because I've found I'm really addicted to my phone recently.
Good God, I read books to escape reality, Callum. I don't do drugs.
Well, but a lot of people do drugs, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a dopamine hit, isn't it? It's like social media. You pick up your phone, you're getting a dopamine hit.
Yeah, I'm like pow pow.
And it's why people are, I think, so depressed all the time. Is because their dopamine levels are fucked because their phones are constantly hitting them up with that dopamine hit they need, and then when they're not, you know what I mean? But we're getting to that in another podcast.
I was gonna say bloody hell, Callum.
We're getting to that in another podcast. You know what I mean?
Words
of wisdom today.
But let's take a deep breath because that was that was just a lot of ASMR for you guys. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I hate ASMR. Winds me up.
But anywho, guys, we'll catch you next week for our Halloween podcast. Do spooky noises.
Halloween.
Spooky noises. Oh, Halloween.
That's a scary ghost. We're going to do the podcast up. We're going to do up the little room. We're going to get something for here too. But thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate each and every single one of you.
And we hope you've learned something today. If not, just do a little Google search. What's capitalism and stuff, because we didn't even explain that.
No, we didn't, did we?
But thank you very much for watching, guys. And we love you.
Love you.